Addictions, blessings or a curse? Something to avoid at all costs or something to embrace as a lesson? That's what we're going to be exploring today, and it's one of those journeys or one of these videos that I'm producing that, it feels quite personal because I have been really in the thick of it all. It's something that it's taken a lot of work to actually make sense of. I'm not saying that I'm ever kind of cured, because what's going to be brought up the next day and how I respond or react to that is just that that unknown. So all I can do is just share from where I'm at, the lessons I've learned along the ways, things that have worked, some things that haven't worked, and I think all of this is just so like give that kind of different perspective. So if you are struggling with addiction, or you know of somebody who is, it's just a different way of being able to look at things. And if there is some kind of healing work that comes out from my sharing, that's brilliant. So again, I'm not attached or addicted to that particular outcome. It is what it is. So yeah, as always, take what you need and leave the rest. So addiction, yeah, we know alcohol, drugs, cigarettes, or vaping. Could be gambling, shopping. Addictions to food, to sex, to exercise. Constantly at the gym kind of thing, or to TV. We could be addicted to validation via social media. Oh, this video's only got that many likes. Oh my God, I'm not loved. Or yeah, I need more, or whatever, so there's that whole addiction to this whole social media, or we could sort of like, get addicted to some kind of stimulation, to distractions. So again, things like the social media, the whole watching TV, especially with that much choice nowadays, just distraction after distraction, or stimulated by whatever's going on here and there, and involved with all these different things. I think there's some kind of statistic to say that if you go back 2 generations ago, we have enough or as much stimulation in 1 week than 2 generations ago had in their entire lifetime. I mean, that's kind of mind-boggling, isn't it? Of how much we're exposed to, bombarded with information, with media, with this going on, and the world is a smaller place because of, the whole internet and everything, which is beautiful in some respects, but also, could be detrimental in others. So yeah, the addictions to distraction, or we could be addicted to drama. We could even in relationships, an intimate relationship, have that addiction to the friction. The constant bickering. We could have that particular drama, addicted to it, and all of these things is a kind of a cry for help. So that's why I pose a question: is it something to avoid, or is it something to embrace? Is it a blessing, or is it a curse? It's perspective, isn't it? And if we look at it, these addictions are masking something. They're distracting. They're keeping us away from some kind of truth within us. And we chase this kind of cocktail of dopamine spikes and whatever else is going on in our brain, because we prefer to have that pleasurable feeling as opposed to sitting with the pain and the sorrow. Who would want that? So yeah, of course, we're wired to sort of like seek out kind of rewards, but the problem with these dopamine spikes is that we have that high, and then as it comes down, it doesn't just plateau, where it was. It's sort of like, it depletes. I'm sinking. And in that sinkingness, we're feeling that kind of depression more. We're feeling that disconnection more. And so we need to keep that kind of balance with our chemicals that are going on in our brains, the dopamine spikes and whatever else. And we don't want to be, reaching out for more and more, because we're never going to find ourselves at that neutral place where we can actually just operate from there. So things like, drugs and alcohol, we're sedating ourselves, we're numbing ourselves, dumbing ourselves, however you want to phrase that, in order to avoid. Or things like cigarettes or vaping, we're actually controlling our breath even, just to control that emotion so it doesn't sort of like escalate out. And so behind all this, there is something deeper. There's something deeper to be addressed, and I've mentioned it in quite a few of my videos about the shadow work. There's some kind of shadow, there's some kind of part of us that we're trying to deny, we're trying to repress, we're not wanting to sort of like be seen in that shadow state. But the key is that the more that we can be friends with the shadow, the more we can understand the shadow, the less it's going to come and bite us in the arse, literally, kind of thing. And so we don't need to be pushing it away. We don't need to be putting a mask on by tending to addictions. Again, this is just my journey. You know, we're all at different stages of climbing this proverbial mountain. Yeah, these are the kinds of conclusions that I've come up with. And so again, you know, to push addiction away, I've tried that. You know, the more you push it, the more it bounces back. So you know, the key is to make friends with it. It's about being able to learn what it is the addiction is trying to bring up for you. For example, it was early May time. I turned up at the airport in the UK, flying to America for a Vortex class that I was going to be attending. And it's a good job I wanted to be there a good sort of like, you know, 2 days beforehand, because when I got to the airport, there was some mix-up with my tickets, and which meant I couldn't fly for a further 24 hours. And in that 24, you know, I left and I had 24 hours to do something with. So yeah, I thought I'll have a few beers, but then I thought I'll have some cigarettes, and I think what it was is I was so fucking angry, you know, that this had happened, that I needed to suppress it somehow, and I was unaware of that. And the beauty is that being able to do that analysis of, you know, what is it that made me turn to those, and being able to realise that there was that raging anger inside of me, helped me to actually realise what, you know, what these roots of the addictions are, and how sort of like intertwined that they are, and how deep that they are. So that was a beautiful kind of insight. Another insight is that when I have cigarettes in my hand, you know, I think, where did that originally come from? I mean, you know, who would want to sort of like take in that kind of foul taste, to be fair? But, you know, growing up, all the cool kids would stood outside smoking away, and to be part of that kind of network and to feel accepted, you know, I became a smoker. Now the thing is, you know, decades later, it's the opposite effect. You know, you start hanging around and you start with a cigarette. It's a case of, God, you stink, go away. You know, what are you doing that for? So, you know, times and trends change, and so that the cigarettes, you know, to actually, you know, combat that kind of loneliness, hasn't worked. So why do I keep doing that to myself? You know, yes, there is, you know, the cigarette industry, you know, pay billions, don't they, to actually make sure that they keep us hooked, and with some kind of advertising and the chemicals in there, they want to keep us hooked because it's business. But, you know, I know better, and I don't need to be doing that. So instead of me, you know, trying to sedate, trying to control, trying to mask loneliness or separation, you know, what I'm looking for is connection. I'm looking for community. I'm looking to ignite my purpose and to ignite my passion. And if I've got purpose, passion, community, connection, you know, these are the things that are those positive kinds of, I'm not saying addictive things, but there's a positive kind of things that I'm drawn to be doing, as opposed to the lower vibrational stuff of, you know, I'm feeling a bit isolated, I'm feeling a bit depressed. Hello, here's my friends, alcohol, cigarettes, watch a bit of porn kind of thing, because they're my friends, you know, because I'm in that lower vibration. Whereas if I'm doing my shadow work, I'm stepping in more into that light. And of course, you know, I'm going to be around more beautiful people, I'm going to be more synchronistic flow, you know, feel that sense of community, I'm feeling passionate, I'm feeling purposeful. So that's how I've moved my addictions around, and when the addictions are alive within me, it's like the drums on Jumanji, dum 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 dum. I know that they're bottling up, ready to sort of like to spill out, and so it's being able to sort of like clock them, and to be able to address them, and to not push them away, but to actually journal on them, or to meditate and to find out what it is that's behind that calling. So yeah, basically, there's no quick fix. It's your journey, and you will find the answers along that journey. So I'll leave it for today. Yeah, good luck with all that. Lots of love, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao for now.